everybody. Welcome to Tech Talk Tonight. This is episode number 32, and I'm here with my faithful co-host and cohorts in crime. Mr. Gavin Raycamper, I believe, is somewhere out there. As soon as I can get some video working correctly here, yes,
Hello,
there he is.
How's it going?
How is it going? How are you?
It is a beautiful day up here in Chicago, although it's night right now. The birds are chirping. The baseball season smells wonderful, and I don't really know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you're getting into the wrong show there, buddy. However, you are not alone. Mr. Stephen Dryden from the Batting Practice Podcast, also viewed here on the network, as it were. Mr. Stephen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, actually. I believe you're going to be giving us some iPad reviews because we just found out that you're loaded and own every version of the iPad ever created. How awesome is that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We've got the
So
iPad.
do you ever
right
just
here.
like sit them next to each other
3G
and play
version.
two iPads at one time?
What was that?
Tell us about the iPads. How do you like them? How's the second one better?
The second one is better because it has a faster processor, and it's also got a front and a back webcam, so it does make it faster. Now, I've upgraded from the first one to the 3G plus Wi-Fi one on the Verizon system, and it's pretty good. Last week I took it out storm chasing, and I had coverage pretty much everywhere I went. And I had access to radar using Radar Scope. It's a nice little app that costs $10 on the App Store. But it was perfect.
Storm chasing sounds dangerous. Or what was the app that you were using for the actual storm chasing?
Radar Scope.
Radar Scope, and it was giving you what sort of type of information?
It gave me raw level 3 radar data from the National Weather Service, so I could tell where rotation was in the storm and basically where the rain was and where I need to be and where I need to go to get to safety.
Impressive.
So what storm were you chasing?
There was a high risk situation in southern Missouri, southern Illinois last week on Wednesday. And so we were chasing multiple supercells. It wasn't the greatest situation, but we seen 3 rotating wall clouds, and we did see 1 funnel cloud develop.
Now, these are the type of clouds that, normal people run away from, correct?
Generally, they go and hide in their basement, yes.
Yes. And you're heading towards them.
Kind of, sort of. We try to aim to be out of the way at a safe distance to view the storms, but essentially you could say that, yeah.
Excellent. And what type of vehicle are we driving in to chase after these storms? I mean, are we in some sort of armored tank like we see on the actual Storm Chasers show, or, are we driving a Ford Pinto?
It's more closer to the Ford Pinto.
Gotcha.
But we were driving, I believe, a Ford Mercury from the year 1995.
Excellent.
And
That sounds
very
very
weighed
scary.
down.
Yeah, so not worried about that just being thrown into the wind and never seen from, or you guys heard from again?
Not really. Just as long as we stay out of the way of the main storm, we're okay.
All thanks to that iPad.
Yes.
Okay, so iPad story was actually recommended to us by one of our listeners out there. Hello, Hempen, F. Hempen in the chat room there. So
Hempen, if you will.
if you need a iPad, you're going to also want to chase storms. They go hand in hand, and that's our review right there.
And you can
I'd
use
also recommend it
Twitter
for,
to post your photos
if you
soon.
just want a notebook. It's a very nice little computer that you can surf on the web from your couch or from your bed. It's very mobile, very light, and very effective. I mean, it doesn't have to be just for storm chasing. That's just my area of expertise.
Okay, I guess if you must use it for something else as well, those could also be done. Gavin, you were saying out there?
Oh no, I was just saying that this sounds like one of our first stories, which is that Twitter is now creating a photo service to kind of take over TwitPic. So while Forrest and Dryden are out there chasing their storms, they can be posting their Twitter photos on a Twitter photo service soon.
Excellent. Do I need that service? Don't I have things that are doing this already?
I mean, you've got TwitPic and things like that. Dryden, do you use Twitter? Do you post photos on Twitter?
I do have the Twitter app, but I don't really use it that much. I just go ahead and go to the regular website on my computer. I don't really upload pictures that much to begin with. So, I do know that like Twitter is actually partnering with Apple to do this, and it's like their big system's going to be unveiled Monday at their developers conference in California.
Well, that sounds like a segue if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, what else is happening at the developers conference? Do you know? Have you heard any of the rumors, Dryden?
I do know that we're gonna on Monday. Steve Jobs is actually gonna do the keynote.
Whoa.
Where he's coming out of what was it, sick leave or something like that. He's on for his cancer
Medical
or
leave.
something. But he is going to present iOS 5, and he's also going to present what is known as iCloud, which I haven't heard too much about it. All I know is that is just a internet service.
Okay.
If I had to take a guess what it was, it's going to be something like Google Music, I would guess.
So iCloud, we already have a cloud service from Apple called Mobile Me, which is basically just cloud storage, I would say. So we're saying that this iCloud is probably tied in with iTunes, and we're just going to be able to share all our music through the cloud then as well, just like we were talking last week about Google Music.
If I had to guess, that would be it. I'm not.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
not too many details available at the moment.
Gavin, you're gonna switch to that from your.
I think Dryden hit it right on the head. It's going to be like Google Music. It's going to be on the web. It's going to make iTunes.com a music store that you can hit from any browser, not just iTunes. And it's going to be a music streaming service that you can stream the music files the MP3s that you purchase from iTunes onto any device that you have in the iTunes universe.
They're also going to be releasing some like Mac software called Lion, which is their their MacBook operating system there.
Whoa, it's more than just your MacBook. OS 10 Lion is the next version of the entire operating system. Like, this is like, currently you have Windows 7. This is like Windows 8 comparatively.
Yeah.
So this is MacBook, Mac Pros, all the lines of the Apple computers. This is the new version of the OS that more or less makes your desktop more like the iPad interface. I'm not sure if I like the route that it's going, but it's basically, it's going to meld the iOS 5 as they're introducing, and the OS 10 software that they have. So it's going to make it easier for developers, I can see that, and probably it's going to make it easier for your non-power computer users, I would call them, to kind of be able to go back and forth between an iPad device and a Mac computer and stuff. I'm not that enthused about it, but we'll probably update eventually. I
mean, all Mac people will update eventually, right?
Yes and no. I mean, okay, so if you're like into the whole cult of Mac and everything, yes, you want every new device that comes out. And I was really excited when Snow Leopard came out. There was a lot of good things that were added into it. I haven't seen those things added into Lion yet. Although the keynote hasn't been announced and we don't actually know what all is being added into Lion. So I look forward to that announcement. I hope not to be disappointed. Can I put it that way?
Yeah,
Yes.
how much do you think they'll charge is the question.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so they've said, okay, so you have OS 10 Lion coming out right now. Before that, the current operating system right now is Snow Leopard, and the one before that was called just Leopard. So the price between Leopard and Snow Leopard was, I think, drastically cut. But since this is becoming a whole nother cat, as it were, it might actually be more, is what they're rumoring. They kind of compared Snow Leopard to being like Service Pack 3 for Windows XP. It was like, it almost recreated the OS and everything, but it was it was a full kind of upgrade type thing. I don't know how to make that analogy that good, but so Lion might actually I'm gonna guess $90.
I was gonna say right around 100 would be my guess.
Yeah, 99 or 89 or somewhere within that range.
The keynote is Monday, so that's when we'll learn. So.
Right. You going to be putting Lion on that MacBook you got now, Gavin?
I don't know if this MacBook can handle it. This MacBook is Katie's old one. It is about like 5 years old, so it's barely running right now, but works for development.
Cool.
But maybe in the new OS they will have stolen Mac tracking software. Have you heard about this story, Braden?
I did see this story. This is actually one of the few stories I read before we, just decided to throw the show together tonight. So I can kind of explain it. I don't remember the actual name of the device. Is it called Hidden? Is that right, Gavin?
Yep.
Yeah, it's called Hidden App.
Okay, so basically, using the eyesight that's built into the MacBook, he was able to take pictures of the person who stole his MacBook, and then was giving these pictures to the police, who the police at first said, your MacBook got stolen, and we don't really have the man-force to be able to track this down right now. Well, the guy was persistent and kept sending the police these pictures, and the police caught the guy, and I believe he got his MacBook back. But the Tumblr site that he's, promoting with all of this kind of feels like a big advertisement for this Hidden application, if you ask me. This could be some guerrilla marketing for that application. That's how I feel. What do you guys think?
From what I heard, it was basically the site just, he posted pictures of the guy who stole his MacBook, and then the cops weren't really paying attention like you said. But then after the site got so much attention, I think it was Oakland, California,
Yep.
they started working on the case, and they found the guy within 5 hours.
Yep.
Of actually starting to look for the guy. If I had to guess, you're probably right, but who knows? Makes me think about getting the app, though.
True. I mean, I looked at it, and it's a little expensive, but, for peace of mind of knowing that you'd be able to track down the person. But then they also do have to connect this thing to the internet for them to, be able to get those pictures from the actual laptop. So if the burglar was smart and basically stopped all the wireless activity and never plugged it into Ethernet or anything, that'd keep him, kind of lames down the MacBook for what he would probably be using it for. But
this is pretty much just like the Mobile Me app for the iPad. I mean, I can go and log in and see where my iPad is at, and if I need to, I can wipe everything on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
the key question. Oh,
Gavin.
sorry. The key question is for me is that can you get Hidden off of the Mac if you do a total wipe? It does a smart criminal be able to just get rid of it? Is that the deal? How does this work? Do you guys know?
How the app actually, does the mobile wipe, or
No.
is able
So
to take
if the
pictures?
criminal gets the laptop and then does a format and reinstall, is it worthless? Does Hidden get erased or what?
Okay, so I don't know about Hidden per se, but I know that there is a piece of software put on our work computers that is able, it's not set up like hidden to be able to take pictures and stuff, but it is set up to do mobile wipes if our laptops are stolen, and it is a program that runs from the BIOS and not from the operating system. So even if they did a wipe, or if the burglar that stole a laptop formats the drive, they still would not be deleting the program that's able to do the mobile wipe.
Yeah, hopefully
So it's
like
possible to do that, and I would think Hidden would utilize that.
Hopefully it does.
True. This story is also vaguely familiar to the story that was coming out right after DEF CON. There was a lecturer that gave basically a whole speech about how he tracked down his MacBook, but he wasn't using any, program like Hidden. He more or less, what was he? I forget what command he was doing, but he was remote logging into his computer and was able to take pictures that way as well. I can almost see that guy like making this hidden program. That would be an interesting thing to look at, to see if it's some of these guys from DEF CON that saw this lecture, or the guy that was giving the lecture and basically went and, trying to profit from this now.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. What other stories we got out there tonight there, gentlemen?
I think the last one that I have is that yet another story has come out today that cell phones may be bad for you. It's basically what the story is. It doesn't say if they're causing cancer. It doesn't say that it doesn't cause cancer. It says that there's a possibility that cell phones might be giving us all cancer.
See, now, we've heard a lot of stories like this before, and didn't, Mythbusters prove this wrong? Should I not be holding this antenna right next to my face that's currently plugged into the back of my cell phone?
Well, what the reports were saying was that I believe what the skin behind your ear, or right around your ear, is thinner compared to everywhere else around your body, and so it's just a higher risk of they just believe that's you can get a higher risk of cancer just from putting your cell phone up there, because it emits radiation. But if you think about it, there's radiation everywhere.
True.
I mean, we're getting radiation still from the nuclear plant over in Japan, and it's very it's only very minute levels, but it's still radiation. I mean, if you're gonna get cancer, you're gonna get cancer, unfortunately.
How is that even a study? Someone somewhere using a cell phone could die. This is true.
Well, I mean, also
Your
another
tactics at
aspect
work.
that is good, I guess, is that cell phones used to emit a lot more radiation and a lot more power than they do now. I was listening to a podcast on This Week in Radio Tech, and they were talking about how now they only release maybe 1 to 1.5 amps, where back in the day the big cell phones used to release 10 to 15 amps.
So the Zach Morris phone that was yay big would be scrambling my brain faster than my little droid here now, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but that's how I understand.
Where's Dr. Kiki when we need her? So, okay, we were talking about our ear before. Or behind the ear is thinner skinned and has a greater chance of getting radiation into our brain, right? What about our ear itself? That's a big hole right into our head. Is that not relevant? And, we put our phone right up to that so we can hear. Was that factored in at all, or?
I would guess that would be the case. I don't really know. I mean, pretty much it's you use a cell phone, you run the risk of getting cancer, is what I took from the study. So,
don't I have the risk of getting cancer like everywhere else as well?
It's true.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So cancer, bad, and you might get it. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to put it.
We just don't know at this point, right? There's a huge possibility that in 30 years we're all going to be like, oh shoot, we shouldn't have done that.
It's true.
But at this point, we just don't know.
Well, they used to let kids play with mercury and all that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Anyway.
Look how that turned out.
That was fun, right? Shouldn't we all like be dead by now? The way that things are, all the things that they tell us are bad for us. We're turning into like the old fogey folks here now. This isn't Cranky Geeks. Do we have another story that we can move on to, or are we dawning to a
That's all I
close
got.
here?
I think we're running on our time. What do you guys think?
I think we're about close. Okay, chat
think we're
room.
close enough.
Anything you guys got out there that we need to discuss about here yet? And wait for it. We give them 5 seconds. And cricket.
All right.
All right, I think we'll call that a close then. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Whoa.
What?
This is actually a local story. Excel is going to start manufacturing beer. Did you see that?
I didn't.
What is
That's
this?
interesting.
So the story is that there was an STL Today article. I posted it on Joe Hankins' Facebook page. Basically,
Right.
like it's a puff piece on Excel bottling and ski, and then in the last paragraph it says, "And we're gonna start brewing beer."
What?
Yeah.
So the makers of the ski is going to make beer.
Essentially. So
Sweet.
Braden can explain how this works, but basically Excel Bottling is a bottling company and Ski is a separate like thing, but
Right.
Excel is going to start bottling.
Now, in the past on the show, we kind of demoed they make a couple different sodas that aren't ski. It's a Misty Breeze, and there was a Cherry Breeze, I believe, as well, which they're from the town of Breeze. That's why they were calling the sodas breezes. So, they're kind of experimenting, it seems, out there. They make a good cream soda as well, I've been told. So it looks like the Clinton County's, gonna weigh heavy on their decision of starting to make beer. I'll try it. Heck, why not? If it's a good craft brew, I'd look forward to that. I hope they just don't make it, like a cheap man stag, which I believe cheap man's already the phrase often referred to as stag beer. But, we'll see how that all goes. We'll try it out here live on the podcast when we can. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a promise. Frosty root beer is good too, Julie points out. And with that, we will call this episode a goner. We will see you next Wednesday. Gentlemen, say goodbye to the fine folks. Let's see here. Who's up here first? Gavin?
Hey everyone, see you later. Find me on twitter.com/GavinR.
And Steven?
Peace out, guys. Stay tuned for batting practice right after this show.
It's true. Adios, everybody.